You'll notice that I am very excited to see all of you. Full lumberjack. I like to call it, I'm lumberjacked. And I got a little extra manliness sticking out of here for you. And I got this thing, which just screams macho. And I have with me today, as I am recording this at 4:16 in the PM, I have with me a wee dram of Auchentoshan single malt scotch. For those of you who don't know this about me, I'm not really actually much of a scotch drinker. It's got a good color. Some nice legs. Tastes like dirt when you drink it. But kind of like Kevin Lane, it's the least dirty one of them I could find. So, I actually like it. It's very tasty. This one is distilled in American oak barrels, and so it tastes more like real whiskey and less like dirty Scotch whiskey. But anyway, I digress. I don't know why you guys let me do these 2-week videos, because I'm gonna tell you, it's more work. There's just a lot more to go through. I got less substance here for you today, because I just can't review each of your teams and like how poorly you did picking the players that you picked. If you're me, of course, that is my entire team in week 9, and if you're some other people, like I don't know, maybe John Colts, spoiler alert, you set the perfect lineup. So I don't have time to go over all that today. It's not you, it's me. But what I will be able to do is run you through what we did score, and then set you up for what I hope will be a very exciting and tension-filled next couple weeks as we wind down to playoff season. So, without further ado, just kind of scoot in here and change my posture and have another pull of the dram. I mean, it's actually pretty good. And let's get right into it. You may notice that today I am sitting slightly off center. That is because, oh wait, if I look that way, sorry, I am sitting slightly off center. That is because I have made the score boxes bigger, and I needed to give it more room. So instead of being down here, it's going to be over here. And you can see it popping up right now. And we can go over the week 9 scores in kind of rapid fire succession. I mean, listen, I don't want you to feel like I'm shorting you if you did something really good in week 9. But we're just going to kind of breeze over it. It's not because it's you who beat me, because of my own failings. But that's all we're going to say about that. Moving right along is like Bentler. Bentler had a fine week. 101 points is fine, especially when you're playing somebody who scored 71 points. If you were Colts, you would just talk about how bad it was for you and how things just don't go your way. But you're not. You're Bentler, which is like the opposite of Colts, like the polar opposite of Colts. So you just kind of took it on the chin and, probably drank a little too much and woke up on Monday being like, what happened? Unless that happened on Monday. So maybe all those events happened on Tuesday. And I mean, entirely possible. Neither here nor there. The John that I do have to talk about is the 153-point scoring John Garner, who I think maybe might have gotten on the chat and bragged a little bit, like maybe a humble brag, maybe like just a blatant like brag. He might have done something like that as he put the screws to John Soling. But as you will see in the following week, like 153 points is not anything to necessarily write home about, although it's pretty good. Kessler, the comeback kid, I'm going to say upset of the season. You can disagree, but you'd be wrong. It was a squad that has been generally underperforming, and you'll see what I mean in week 10, and against Phil, who has just been fire. Just fire. So I thought, personally, that this would be a no contest, but as it turns out, fantasy football is not really that predictable, and Kessler won. And then Colts lost his ability to complain about anything when he scored 134 points, a respectable number against Premel's sub 197. And that's just, I'm sure he can find a way to complain about it. And I don't remember if he did. But if he did, he should stop, because what else we have to point out is that Sleeper ranked Colts as the best manager of Week 9, scoring all 134.2 of his 134.2 possible points. Poor Coldozer is on the bottom side of that. The 71 points is not what they expected. Garner had the largest blowout over Soling, 153 to 111. And look here, I don't personally remember this, but this just goes to show you why we don't run this league off of what I remember, because this here says Kevin won 102 to 95, and I swear that I did better than that. But, neither here nor there. John Garner scored 153 points, which is the most that got scored that league. Coldzer's on the bottom, below expectation, and lowest score. How exciting is that? Super exciting. Go over here. You still recording? Good. There. Moving right along. Let's talk about the week that we just had. So, there's no future living in the past. I think Nietzsche said that. And, or the Strokes. I don't remember. And I personally try to live my life by that. Personally. I think it's the way to be the most successful. And you can see here by the score at the top of the thing that I was, in fact, successful. 153 points on a week that I really just needed to bounce back because I was feeling kind of low because somebody told me that Kevin beat me the week before. So I just went ahead and had myself a week on 153 points. That felt pretty good. Cole is not happy because, as you're going to notice, all but two of the other people in the league scored double digit points, which means his 116 would have been good enough to carry him to a dub versus just about everybody, or as we like to say this year, that he coltsed himself. I don't know if we said that. It seems fine, though. Continuing down the list, big surprise here. Garner scored under 120. What? That, and he put the screws to Phil, who notched a second loss in a row. So 2 L's coming for Phil in a row, and he may be starting to sweat the scenarios that can play up to these next coming weeks. Colts, Otal won. Looks like he was able to pull out a victory, 84 to 83. So he played like shit, and he still won, which, if you ask him, is impossible. But here we have evidence. Empirical, indisputable evidence that Colts can win close games and still score shitty. I don't want to hear about it anymore, John Boy. I don't. Just gonna be honest. Put your mask on and shut up. Okay? I don't know that to do with anything. But okay. Let's see. Let's talk. We have to talk about it, right? It's the only way to heal. It's the only way to move on. 54 points is really bad. With the lack of tracking available on Sleeper, it makes it, and like the trophy system. Well, and to be fair, the trophy system went away on ESPN too. But with the lack of tracking available to me in order to tell you if that's the worst anybody's done in a really long time, that might be the worst anybody's done in a really long time. And a long time might be like ever. Not sure, but it's possible. Bentler scored 76 points, but that was enough to beat you. So I mean, he's about it. Bringing him up to 5-5, counting his blessings. Thank you, Jeebus. And Garrett came back from a bad loss and had himself one hell of a week. 135 points. Soling, couldn't shit the bed as hard as Kessler, but he tried. 66 points. He'll tell you it was not his best day. This part cracks me up though, because I'm gonna show you this, and we're all just gonna. It makes me giggle, being the guy who scored 153 points. The best manager in the league, according to Sleeper, was Michael Bentler with his 76.6 points, because that's all his team could have possibly scored, was 76.6 points. So good job, mate. Boom, knuckle pound. Worst manager, John Colts, who started all the wrong people. That's why they give out that one. Premel had the biggest blowout over Soling, and obviously between Kevin and John, it was a 1-point matchup, making the closest victory. I'm your highest scorer and overachiever. Kessler is below expectations and the lowest score. Okay, so what does that all mean for us? Here is a look at the standings. You'll see myself up there in number 1, which I'm happy to report. Even though Sleeper doesn't have a thing here, I'm happy to report is enough to lock up playoffs. So I am guaranteed a spot, and I didn't want to do the math, but I very well may be guaranteed the number 1 seed. Or at least the number 2 seed. I'm guaranteed a first-round bye. That's what I meant to say. Kessler, First Class Fantasy. Everybody else is really kind of vying for the spots. It would take some real shenanigans for Cole to be able to make it up into the top 3. Everybody else still in the game. Garner, with his big win over Phil, vaulted himself to the top of the standings. And now, based on tiebreakers, Phil is below Pen 15's. And those two are going to play each other next week, as I'm going to highlight here in a second. Bentler at 5-5 is still not out of it. And actually, to be honest, Colts at 4-6 is not necessarily out of it either. So, what is coming up in the next couple weeks? Looking at weeks 11 and 12, heading up into the final push. I will highlight here for you that, in fact, Kevin Lane and Phil Sultness will play for the metaphorical marbles. Not all of them, just some of them, because then they could go into their next week and just totally change the game. But they are tied and they are playing each other, so that is going to be a fun matchup to watch. The rest of everybody does not have any tie-breaking matchups as it stands right now. But what I will do for you, because I care, is after this week, I will bring up, next week's show will be our playoff scenarios show, which is the most fun that anybody can have at any one time watching a YouTube video. So, with that being said, time to sign off. I hope you guys all have a great week. Get your waiver claims in. No more tradesies. You're done. Figure it out for yourself now. You pick them up and drop them. That's what you're going to have to do, because you can't have them from me or from anybody else here. Done. I hope you guys have a fantastic week and a great weekend of fantasy football coming up. And unless your name is Josh Kessler, because you, Kessler, I hope